Welcome to the Find the Way podcast. In this show, we will try to explore what is happening in emerging markets and how entrepreneurs, investors, and communities are simply finding the way to make phenomenal things happen, regardless how volatile the environment may sometimes seem. Hello everyone, I'm super excited to present to you this guest that I've really wanted to have a chat for a long time now. His name is Ramon Velasquez and he's coming all the way from Venezuela. There's a lot of things that people don't know what's going on in Venezuela, so that's why I'm super excited to demonstrate how this great fintech entrepreneur is having a tremendous impact in the Venezuelan market. Hey Ramon, great to have you in the show, and how's Caracas today? How's Venezuela?
Very nice. We have a warm weather, sunny day. It's always like this in Caracas, so yeah.
So it's perfect all year round.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Nice. So could you give a little intro? Who's Ramon Velasquez? You've been operating in Venezuela for all your life. You chose to stay there regardless of the volatility that we see in Europe or in the US. And you're building something super, super cool, super impactful in Venezuela. And so can you share a little bit of your background?
Well, I'm Ramon Velasquez. I'm a CEO and founder of Ubi in Venezuela. I always been fascinated about financial technology, and I was in my university. I study business administration and always fascinated about finance. And I began in Ubi like 8 years ago, and the idea was like 10 years ago. I was fascinating seeing how with the smartphones, people could charge their client credit cards.
Mm-hmm.
So at that time, I said I would love to do this in my company. And well, that was the beginning of what we're doing right now, and so much things developing right now in Venezuela. And Ubi began with trying to help small and medium merchants, SMEs, to do the same thing that I saw in the Nordics, and then in the USA, let the people charge their clients with smartphones, with credit cards. But we try to do it in Venezuela. We try to, that was not too tropical for Venezuela. Yes, we try to do something very similar using current POS devices. And
can you explain what is a POS device to the audience that do not know?
Yes. POS device is a hardware where you can charge your client with debit and credit cards. So that you include clients who don't have cash. So,
yeah.
So yes, it's very interesting because when we began with this idea in Venezuela, we were in a very difficult time, political and economic. We began in 2016, and at that time in Venezuela, because the inflation, because the value of the money, it was so hard to pay products and services with local currency. It was very complicated because with the high bill of Venezuela, it was very complicated to buy things. So at that time, like the solution for every small and medium merchant was to buy a POS device, because in Venezuela, a lot of people, or at least 75% of people have a debit card. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So the solution to all this trouble for the merchants was to have a POS device and charge their clients that way.
Yeah.
So yes, that was a great opportunity for us, because we were trying to sell our business model to all the banks and to all the industry. And we crossed with this trouble in Venezuela. So if we, at that time, we had a first license to do this in Venezuela, to sell directly to small and medium merchants the POS devices very fast. Because at that time, also the banks didn't want to work with small and medium merchants. They were just trying to work with big companies.
Yeah.
There was no focus in this medium and small merchants that in Venezuela, in this moment, and also at that time, the 65% of businesses are informal businesses.
Yeah.
So that's very important for the economy. And so well, we wanted to help them create the business model, and we had the first license to sell POS to this merchant.
So you basically enabled all the small and medium-sized businesses, enterprises, to take card payments that were not possible prior that Ubi came to the picture and offered a solution to take cash in via digital means, right?
That's right. So, and also, banks were not very happy because we get into the industry, and they were doing nothing to take this part of the business. So we began doing it in 5 years. We sold more than 30,000 POS devices in all the country, and we decided not just to stop there. So we were from the beginning growing our tech team. Right now, in the whole company, we are more than 160 people, and just in the team, we have like 35 engineers that are just working in payments technology. So we are Paytech, so just focus in payment development. So we said, why not let's build our own infrastructure. Let's build other products for these small and medium merchants.
Yeah. And basically now you started in 2016. Here we are on going further with 23. You've been able to get going and grow extremely fast in an environment, in a country where everything seems so chaotic and crazy from an outsider perspective. How did you get started? How was it even possible to start a business in a country like Venezuela, where you basically just entered towards a crazy hyperinflation? How were you able to survive and get started? It would be super intriguing to hear that story.
Yes. Well, like you said, the hyperinflation was one of the reasons because we could grow. At the beginning, I found the company with my own money, about, I don't know, $40,000. And, well, when we began, we have a lot of, demand of our solution, of our POS. So at that time, we talked to the bank, the first bank with, we were working at the beginning, and we said to them, guys, we have at least 5,000 clients asking for our solution, for the POS, the hardware, and we don't have money to bring this quantity of POS. So those are your clients. So if you give me credit, I can buy POS of China, bring them here and sell to your clients. And every transaction is coming to your bank, and that's your. So the banks, okay, I'm going to give you credit. They give us at that time $500,000. And the interesting thing is
In
that
what currency? In what currency was that? Was it in US dollars or the local?
in local currencies. And like you said, with the hyperinflation that we have at that time, of course, what you have to do, and you have to do it right now, it's make an exchange of these $500,000 in our local currency to US dollars. So we did at the same day we get it. And well, the thing is that at that time, the credit, we have to pay it at 36 months, and the exchange rate, the percentage was the same in local currency. So the payments every day were less in dollars. So let's say that the bank gave us for free $400,000. So that was the beginning. At that time, we were selling a lot of hardware, a lot of POS, and we were the only company at that time. This was very new. So we was the first company doing this. So at that time, the market let us make revenue selling the hardware, and also in our revenue model that was charge a percentage of every transactions to our client, to our merchant. So at that time we have the two revenues, and well, in fact, we paid our credit, and we were working with our own money, and we asked for more credit to the bank. So yeah, it was like a great moment to do this, and hyperinflation helped us to grow at that moment.
At that moment, so just to sum it up, you were able to get $500,000 US worth of the Venezuelan local currency that on the same day you converted into US dollars.
Yes.
And that meant that while more time went on and more time passed, when you kept paying those installments back to the bank for that loan, you were actually making money. So you basically created an arbitrage for yourself where you paid a lot less in actual dollars than you loaned, right?
That's right.
Oh, that's incredible. So that enabled you to move forward for how long of a period of time before you raised money?
Well, 6 years.
6 years. And you basically, with that $500,000 and 40K roughly that you put your own money, how long did it take for you to become profitable as an organization?
No more than 3 months.
3 months?
Yes.
Get the heck out of here. You're kidding.
Yes. The thing is that we have this gift from the bank.
I like it how you put it as a gift from the bank instead of a credit line.
And from the country and political economics at that time, and the universe also.
Yeah.
So part that because we were making revenue for the two things, for selling the POS and our revenue for transaction.
So you took a transaction fee for all the transactions that were done. Yes.
We were making a revenue at the second month for at least $500,000, and our cost, the cost of the company and the people who was working, $150,000. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So our profit before taxes and all that was around $300,000 month.
300K a month in US dollars?
Yes.
Wow.
Of course, we were investing a lot of this revenue in the company.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, that was the story of the beginning, and how fast we were profitable.
So you just found an incredible market opportunity at the exact right time when cash became worthless. The hyperinflation meant that you can't simply use the bills that you have in your pocket anymore. It was just so much easier to use a card. And then you realize that, hey, nobody has the capability to take payments with a card. And then, boom, you strike with that opportunity and you kept going. It became highly profitable, extremely fast. So would you be able to share the current status, that how many users you have now and what is included in your service and product portfolio today?
Well, right now we have new products. We develop our own app, like mobile payment app. So with our app, you can open an account in less than 7 minutes in Venezuela, and you are able to have to make all local payments and transfer funds and receive funds. And you can charge, you can pay your bills in internet, your phone. We are now principal members of Visa and MasterCard for Venezuela, and we issue our MasterCard debit card with high-tech contactless, and it was the first card in Venezuela with this technology in place. Like, yes, all very new and very secure. And from the app, you can ask for this card. We deliver to you in less than an hour in every part of the country.
How many users do you have at this point in time?
Yes, we have right now 175,000, more or less, right now. And it's very interesting because we have less than a year with this product. And we open right now in one day, we're opening like 1,000 accounts. And this is the number of accounts that all the banks in Venezuela open in 3 days.
Oh, that's incredible. That's incredible. And from this large of a user base, what are your revenues currently? Let's say, what were roughly the numbers for 22?
Of just this product?
All of the products that you have in your portfolio.
Okay, well, 2022, our revenue was about $7 million.
$7 million US, and then the bottom line, how much was it in net profit?
Well, right now we're not doing profit because different at the beginning, we have had to invest a lot in the new verticals.
New tools. Yeah. So you basically converted from being profitable to investing more. So how much did you raise to sustain that growth?
We raised 4.5 million last year.
And that money, where does that come from? Who is investing in Venezuela? Because when you look at the realities of Venezuela, I think that most people would be afraid to put money, especially foreign investors. So is that coming locally, or how is the funding environment working in Venezuela?
Yeah, that's an interesting question, because at the moment that we said we have to grow and have to invest in infrastructure, in licenses, in all this, and we need money for this. And it was our first time raising capital, so we made a list of people, also fund the VCs, all this. And what's the best way? So we said we are in Venezuela companies, not Venezuela, and some people have sanctions. So, and it's controversial. So for people who are not in Venezuela, who doesn't know the market, it's complicated to invest here. And always, it's important to know what's the capacity to grow to other countries and all this. So yes, in this list, we put a lot of people from Venezuela, people who have companies, who know the market, who are in the financial industry for years. And yes, and the first pick was our first option was the guy who said, yes, I go with you. But why? Because it's people from Venezuela who think that invest in Venezuela in a market that they know a lot.
Yeah.
People who have been in this country for the whole life and know how the things work, have that, they know that the risk, they know the risk and know how to work here. So yes, it was, our investor is it's a person from Venezuela.
And it's the whole amount, was it just one person put that whole 4.5 million? Okay.
Just related to financial industry for years, for 30 years. And well, yes, I think at least for companies in Venezuela, that must be your first option. Okay. People who know the market and do the first step. And then I think for maybe other rounds and of course, seeing how the company works and it works well, I think you can go to another VCs or all this.
Yes. And from there, if we can take an overall look of the tech market of Venezuela, you've been paving the way and showing how things can be done and should be done. You've been scaling super fast. You've been doing incredible things within Venezuela, created a huge transition to digital payments. So what else is out there? Fintech, obviously, the whole Latin America is booming for multiple same reasons that why you started over there in Venezuela to try to help the local people to become more digital and enable them to do so. What else is happening in Venezuela? What else is popping up?
Yes. Well, you know that we get too late to most of things in the tech industry. Just for you to know, we have our own Uber in Venezuela, hailing, just for the last 2 years. Oh,
okay.
2 years ago, began to work in Venezuela. Oh yes, and the ride hailing have about at least 12 years, or yeah, something like that. What I mean is that it's a huge opportunity in Venezuela because things like hailing just have 2 years. We have also crypto exchanges. We have doing a great work. Well, now we are issuing a card for the first crypto card program for Venezuela. We are issuing a debit card for a crypto exchange. So yes, this is great, and this is new. Wasn't happening before. What else? Well, the food delivery company also have I don't know, less than 3 years in Venezuela. So yes, I think there's more to come in I don't know, in the industry, in our industry, at least the banks and also insurance companies. They are trying to understand how to bring more technology to their companies. And I think it's very slow. They don't know if they have to have a team or if they can do something. No one or a few people in Venezuela know in these industries know what it's as a service. Not many people know that. And so that's very important because it's all made already. You just have to, if you don't want to develop, you just have to put your logo and adapt to your model. So yes, I think we need more of that. But it also is very interesting for people who want to invest because when you know what's happening outside, you know what business models are going well, why not to do it in Venezuela? Of course, adapting to how it works here, right? So I think I'm very positive, like you must see. but I think it's a huge opportunity in the industry to keep growing. So yes.
Absolutely. It's a very untapped opportunity, like many, many other Latin American and emerging market countries. And if we just take a look then overall of the operating environment of Venezuela, and if we take a look on how easy it is to start a business, how easy it is to operate in an environment where there's a lot of restrictions, at least to our eyes who are coming outside. How are the entities structured? For instance, for you, do you have, like many other Latin American companies, that you have a US entity, a holding entity that owns an operating entity in Venezuela? Is it the same way? And how is it to operate a business in Venezuela? Is that possible?
Yeah. Yes, of course. I think first thing is that you have to have like a consultant who help your team to understand how things work, but it's not very different from other places, but the rules are different. And you need a consultant because to do things like if you have to charge in our currency, how you can take that money out, and you can do it legally. And there's a lot of ways to do it, but you have to have a person, a consultant who can help you with that. Yes, if you think, if you are an entrepreneur and you trust and you believe in your business model, you just have to come here and try to understand how it works. That's it. Like you have to understand and you have to come because a lot of people are afraid to come here. I think I told you before, if you tell me, well, let's go to do a business in Cuba.
Mm-hmm.
It said that Cuba and Venezuela, people think it's similar because it's like very blocked and our politicians and our restrictions and sanctions and all that. And I'm a little afraid to go to Cuba because I don't know how it works.
Yeah.
The people feel the same coming to Venezuela. And I think you can solve this just coming, being here a week or 2 weeks.
And learning the rules of the game.
Yeah. And we're not in war. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
So it's very important to come here, to take a plane, come to the country and see what's happening because it's great. And let's say that in the last 2 years, the government have been very flexible in a lot of things and most in political economics. And they are like opening, they are letting people work and you can see it and you can feel it. So
yeah, it's very evident that, especially with other Latin American countries now, the current government of Venezuela is trying to restore relationships, and it's a very positive and healthy sign for business. But then, for your case, how are you structured entity-wise? Do you have solely a Venezuelan entity and that's it, or how are you structured?
Well, right now, sorry, I didn't answer before you asked. Right now, we have a company in Venezuela. We have like our structure. It's in Spain right now.
Spain.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Why Spain?
Taxes.
Tax reasons. Okay.
That's like
so that's a holding company that basically owns 100% of the Venezuelan operating entity.
That's right.
Okay. And taxes. How is the tax environment of Venezuela? What are, let's say, for corporate income taxes? Do you have value-added tax? Like, why did you transfer the entity, and why did you transfer and have the holding entity in Spain and not, let's say, in the Caymans or the BVI, British Virgin Islands, or the US? Are there any specific reasons why Spain?
The principal reason is that between Venezuela and Spain, there is I don't know how to say in English. It's like
you can say in Spanish when we try to figure out from there.
Tratado. It's like a
treaty.
Treaty. It's a treaty with the tax situation. So like the principal reason because we did it there. Yes, most of the companies have a structure in the USA because I know it's very important for the funds. The moment of invest in the company.
Yeah.
So yes, I think because our situation, because what we live in the last years, we never need to raise capital. It was like it was a blessing for us because the same was going very good. So we didn't. I should say that in the beginning, like the second year, some guy came to our office and he said that if we need if we need capital, they could bought percentage, a part of the company. We were like, what the hell are you talking? We don't need your money because we began so fast and we grow so fast and revenue was great and the costs were very, very low at that time. It was another Venezuela. So yes, and we were like, what the hell are you talking about? We don't need me sell part of my company because why? I don't need to raise.
To do that, yeah.
So yes, and let's say that we didn't have the culture of the VC. And I know, and now I understand because now I have friends in VCs. I have visited them and I understand because we live something that is unusual. At the moment you have to found and trying to grow a company. So right now it's another reality because our investor, we didn't have to make this structure, but maybe if we want to raise in the future, from, I don't know, a VC in the United States or whatever, maybe we have to change. Maybe not necessary. Maybe we have. I think for us, any change in our structure would be something that our VC or fund have to ask us to do.
Yeah,
okay?
Absolutely. Okay. This is super intriguing to understand the dynamics, and just for me, and I think for a lot of people in the audience, it's just super intriguing to get a perspective from a country and from an entrepreneur that is operating in an environment that is so unknown, so invisible for us. And there is not a lot of friends of mine even who have been operating in the Venezuelan market. So this is super intriguing, the things that you're sharing. And from there into last question, I would ask, you've had great opportunities to build super cool things now in Venezuela, but I believe you would have always had the opportunity also to leave Venezuela, like a lot of people have left to economic reasons, to go into even bigger markets and try to build their lives, let's say in Europe or in the US. What made you to stay in Venezuela, even though it has been so hectic and so volatile? What are the reasons and motives to stay in your home country?
Yeah, well, that's a very good question. First of all, I love my country. Venezuela, it's great. Like I said, we have a terrific weather every day of the year.
Oh, I can only dream about it.
We have great beaches. We are the first country with more oil in the world, the biggest of oil in the world. And it's like a land of opportunities, or at least this is what you heard through the years. And I can say that that's true right now. So it's a great land. I never felt the need to go outside, and in the last 10 years have been very difficult. I think maybe because I was working always in the financial sector. Maybe for other people, it wasn't so easy to stay. So like I told you, I think it's a complicated question because it goes personal, why other people leave. I never leave. I have rough moments in the last 5 years. I believe I have this idea from 12 years ago. And I don't know, I'm an entrepreneur. I love to make things work. And
Yeah.
and I said, I have this idea, and I have a lot of ideas. You have to focus. I want to do it here. I want to grow, and I love to do that. And I think go to another country to compete with other people. It's important. I want to get people in what we're doing and help them. Like we began with small and medium merchants. How can we help them financially? And that's huge. And do something like this in other country. It's not that easy. I'm from here. How it works. I know it's no competitors, all right? I know they're not trying to come here.
It provides you a phenomenal opportunity to do extremely scalable business, but even more importantly, by coming from there, when I listen you out, is just the enormous impact you can have on the Venezuelan people by providing them opportunities that nobody else would do. You said at the very beginning of this pod is that the banks did not want to do anything about it. They like the status quo. They did not want to serve the small and medium-sized merchants. And then you thought, hey, somebody needs to do it. And then you went and filled that gap, and it's a humongous thing and hugely impactful for the whole society.
And that's our goal. And we're not gonna stop. So
I love it. Please don't.
Yes, we want to make impact, and we know we don't have too much competition, and it's why I'm gonna leave the country. So well, that's my story. There's millions of stories because at least 4 million people is living outside of Venezuela.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, I know a lot of people are coming back because things are better. I hope a lot more can come back again. And yes, talking about business, the people or other companies to be afraid to come here. That's huge for me that I'm living here. That's huge.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Doing a business like I'm doing here. Let's say that I have a fintech in Colombia and you have all these big players. I don't know, like Nubank, like Wala, like, I don't know, maybe Mercado Pago and the Brazilians. You say, what's this? I have to raise more. I have to compete
with the big players. Yeah. And now you have great entry barriers that protect your business in a way, and it's a great financial opportunity. It's very simple.
Natural barriers. I think we need at one point we need to open our market. We need competition to come, and I think we have to be prepared for that. Having a platform service infrastructure for all these players, because if those players come here in this market that is not too easy, we should have, I'm talking about Ubi, we should have all the tools to let them come and be part of their business also. So
yeah,
giving all our infrastructure as a service. So that's our way to protect the business. So we have to be ready for everything. And I think the country should open more, because that would be for all of us. Oh, yes.
Thank you, Ramon, for sharing this and sharing your personal journey, how things got started with Ubi, and demonstrating the opportunities and of course the risks, but overall just demonstrating that there are things happening in Venezuela that people are not aware of. It's gonna grow And it's when ultimately it's going to open up, it's going to be a land filled with opportunities. As you said already, it's not only from the natural resource point of view, but also from a technology aspect that people are going to demand more and more digital solutions. So it's a great opportunity to do business. So thank you, Ramon, for sharing what's happening in Venezuela. And I think it's going to be super intriguing for the audience to get a glimpse before they visit Venezuela for their first times.
They are all invited. Thank you. Thank you very much for this time. And well, I think it's this window to the people know a little bit of Venezuela, what's happening here, and well, the huge opportunities that we have here to keep growing. So thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.